Inference Plus Story Short Number 1, Series A. Darion lay with his arms sprawled across the table and his face planted squarely on the vinyl tabletop. His dark blue hoodie was pulled over his head, puckering around his face so only his pimpled nose was visible. The hood covered his head so completely as to render him unrecognizable to all but the most familiar observers. The observers were indeed familiar with the sight of Darion. This was how he spent every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during his 7th-hour English class in room 279. His teacher, Ms. McFall, had attempted every intervention known to the educational profession to capture his interest. All of them had failed. Sometime in January, she simply stopped trying, leaving him to enjoy his thrice-weekly slumber undisturbed. Despite her outward air of, let him do whatever he wants, it's his education, Miss McFall's soul burned with outrage every time a snore or fart interrupted instruction. It took every fiber of professionalism she possessed to gently shake him awake when the dismissal bell rang so he could stagger blearily off to the school bus. She often idly wondered if he went home and immediately resumed his nap, racking up roughly 19 hours of sleep in a 24-hour period, like a less endearing koala that smelled like morning breath and hot Cheetos. One Friday afternoon, the dismissal bell rang and Darion, predictably, remained planted in his usual position of repose. Impulsively, Miss McFall picked up her backpack, pulled on her coat, and walked out the door, leaving Darion to sleep for as long as his circadian rhythm would allow. He didn't even twitch as she slammed the door on her way out. Enjoy the walk home, she thought smugly. Maybe you'll find the cold air has a refreshing effect. On Monday morning, Ms. McFall pulled her Ford Fiesta into a school parking lot overrun by chaos. Police cars, fire trucks, and news media vans competed for access to the front courtyard. Bewildered, she briskly walked down the sidewalk and approached the first person she saw, a young blonde news reporter from Channel 5, whose name she couldn't recall, but whose blindingly white smile was familiar. "What is going on?" Ms. McFall demanded. "Don't you check your social media?" the reporter asked with the derision that only a 22-year-old making 6 figures can muster. "Some kid died last Friday. The body has been lying across a table in one of the classrooms all weekend. The teacher just left him there." "What teacher?" Miss McFall's face went white. "What classroom?" "They won't say," the reporter said, "but it happened up on the 2nd floor.